Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Previously, in court, we uncovered William Shamspeare's gas fraud scheme. He was using bars of soap as molds to pour water into to freeze them into coins that he could put into the gas meter and just steal heat and power from a gas company. And, well, there's a possibility that the coins he may have used were made from the tea that Sosuke brought over, and now the Scotland Yard is testing it for poison. And that means the trial ended. It got suspended for the day, and it will resume tomorrow, which means we're gonna do an investigation phase. Classic Ace Attorney. So good. Anyway, I guess we should just start here then, right? Phew, we made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while.
Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London, you were very nearly flattened several times.
Oh, she's talking about that? Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you.
Oh, thank you.
And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow.
Yes, let's do that.
Is everything all right?
I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England working as a lawyer, I mean. In the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma.
It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him.
Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us.
Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Well, that was sweet. But, what's the deal with the back wall? This should take between the 4th and 5th cases, right? Or... wait... yeah, no, it would be the 4th and 5th. Shouldn't the consulting agency be fully set up now? Where's, like, the Dharma, and the desk, and the everything, all the decorations? Weird? But okay, let's converse. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand.
I know.
Not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a barefaced gas thief as well.
Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Sosuke-san poisoning the tea.
Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspeare than we yet know, I'm sure of it.
Mr. Shamspeare certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first.
What's become of him, actually?
I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment.
Oh, which one is that?
Let me see. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it.
Well, well, that makes sense. I was wondering how Miss Green would figure into this. We know that place, don't we?
Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken.
Oh, yes, after Sosuke-san stabbed her in the back. Phrasing!
Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone.
Perhaps we both owe Sosuke-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. So, we know that Sosuke-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously...
Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea.
But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspeare's body?
I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspeare's room that will help solve the mystery.
Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think.
Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left at in the bar of soap.
Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. Kazuma Isogi, the best friend I've ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. Has a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. That you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world. The city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? No, never mind.
Naruhodo-san?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Kazuma.
Yes, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course.
Yes, that's right. But...
Yes?
I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all.
Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions?
An awkward animation. I mean this.
His katana?
I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course.
No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it.
When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage.
Yes.
Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Karma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Isogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need such compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
What did he mean by something very important that I have to do?
I had hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet I've not found a single clue.
I see.
Huh. Well, I'm glad the game's bringing all that up because I need answers. I need answers so badly. It's something tied with a male Strongheart, the Chief Justice, I believe. He was like, I remember that scene where he actually asked Ryunosuke directly what Kazuma's goal was, and when Ryunosuke answered a perfectly innocent, normal answer, Strongheart seemed disappointed. There's something going on with the higher echelons of Britain. What's going on? Anyway, let's look at this spade shovel. Perhaps we should put this spade away somewhere.
That's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose materials. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel.
Well, it doesn't really matter, does it?
You're so right, Naruhodo-san. We mustn't quarrel over such trifles.
On reflection, then, I think I'll leave the spade where it is.
Yes, I think that's for the best. We may need a shovel when we're working in the garden.
Oh, that's adorable. Good times. I heard that there's another room behind that door.
Yes, it's my bedroom, Naruhodo-san, as you well know.
Shall I help you unpack your things?
That's very kind, but no thank you.
Your luggage looked very heavy. Are you sure I can't help you move it?
That's very kind, but really, no thank you. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know.
The only secret I have is the 5-yen banknote hidden in the backside of my Dharma doll. These tanks are for keeping sea creatures. They're called aquariums, and they were all the rage in London at one time, apparently.
Yes, the English are so clever, coming up with the idea of having ocean life on display in the home.
And it means you always have an emergency midnight feast on hand, too.
I'm not sure that's really the idea.
Emergency food. Alright, I think we've done all we can here. Let's actually head right downstairs.
Oh, Runo and Susie! Hooray, you're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups.
Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Aha! The Wanderers return at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case. That was today, was it?
I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So, tell me, how did the trial go?
Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least.
Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long.
Is Lord Van Zieks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes?
Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo.
Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor?
Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed, that's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science.
Oh dear.
All right, I'll bite. What's he up to now?
So is it just me, or does Herlock Sholmes feel like he's been slightly flanderized between games? I feel like he's a lot more airheaded than he used to be, and a bit more whimsical in the way he views the world. I don't know what to feel about it.
Lord Barak von Zieks. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital.
But vanish how exactly?
By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames.
The Thames, right?
Or succumbing to a sudden fever, or, quite out of the blue, being set upon by highwaymen. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow.
It all seems a little far-fetched, really.
Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being, at least.
That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zieks' own hands.
As it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite impossible.
Oh? Why?
Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast-iron alibi.
Really?
And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, so I've heard. Well, I think it's more accurate to say what lured Van Zieks out of his, well, retirement maybe, was Magnus McGilded. Van Zieks smelled the blood in the water and wanted to take down McGilded, I think. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death that coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. And really did end bitterly indeed.
And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again.
Poor Runo. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable.
I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people.
So, what is that indescribably foul smell?
Well, most probably this, I would say.
What is that?
My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea.
Oh my!
There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor.
Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior.
So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris?
At the ready, Hurley.
Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens?
It's turned completely black. And what a foul odor it's giving off.
Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling.
That's very ingenious. What do you do with that black liquid now?
Why, dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you?
What's the point of the test? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes.
Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madame.
Right.
The point is, we are entering a new era of science, in the world of criminal investigation also.
Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times.
I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Airlock Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research.
Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Boy, going down this list is a bit odd. Going from one subject to the next. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Miss Usato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zeek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese.
Indeed, it is an interesting observation.
Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes?
It was about 10 years ago that Barak von Zeeks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan.
No. What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes.
Yes, please.
What happened?
I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair.
Oh, but... Unable or unwilling?
The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe.
Fair enough.
So, your tea test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality.
Not a huge number of cases, then.
Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted. Oh, wait.
Was that Ryunosuke? No, that was Sholmes.
Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there.
I hadn't even heard of them until recently.
Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course.
Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes?
There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I am researching is skin prints.
Skin prints? Okay, well, I know there's one other body part that has a unique pattern on it, but I'll give you a hint. Only half the human population has them.
A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation.
Oh. Not the skin on the person, but skin that's touched. Okay.
Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes.
As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black.
I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed.
Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues.
That's the spirit, Runo. See you later. Yes, until later.
No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us.
You were?
Yes, of course. You said so just a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action.
Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later. In all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might.
Your commitment astounds me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Runo. Bye, Susie.
Huh. Well, I really don't think there's anything new to look at. Oh! Iris is typing. That's neat. And he's just sitting there. Well, cool details. Mr. Sholmes seems to be making funny faces at something on his desk. I thought he said he was going to come with us to Mr. Shamspeare's room.
No doubt he's preparing something, Mr. Naruhodo. Something amazing. And he's doing it whilst asleep. Is there no limit to the man's talents?
Iris? That's incredible concentration, that is.
I find it quite remarkable how she can focus on so many different things at once.
Perhaps I should try drinking more herbal tea.
The blend third from the right would be good for you, Runo.
Oh, Iris? This girl is destined for great things, I'm sure. Well, that was cute. Alrighty. Well, where to? I kind of want to talk with Shamspeare and Miss Green, but I feel like getting as much ammunition from his room would be better first. Let's head out to the streets outside. Oh. Huh. You got that little text box showing where you are and the time, but nothing happened. Yeah, nothing about this has seemed to change. Yep, check marks everywhere. So, let's talk to the Garadebs, maybe? Mr. Garadeb appears to be out.
Huh, well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Fair enough. What about Joan? Yeah, Joan's not in this game, I think. I think that's safe to say at this point. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually.
The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it, with a T in it? Yeah, we found it all right, and there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today.
That's wonderful news. Thank you.
Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. Oh. Well, there he is. That didn't take long. I mean, look at this friggin' floorboard. What is that? It bothers me so much. Look at it. It's like that thing from... Yeah, I said last time. It's like that thing from Scooby-Doo. When the background's out of color and bright and vivid, you know it's gonna move. What is that?
Are you looking for new clues, Inspector?
On Lord Van Zeek's orders, yeah. Don't come back till you've got something for me, he says.
Oh dear, poor you.
Yeah, poor me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. But did you search the suspicious nook and crannies? I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips is all I can say. Well, at least he's honest. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh.
That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change.
London winters can be very harsh for the forgetful too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring.
That's true. We don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove.
Look how dark the stain on the floor is Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there.
Yes, from all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning.
It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it?
Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose.
It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that.
So it turns out that Mr. Shamspeare wasn't eating the soap at all.
That's right. The mystery of why he had it on a plate whilst holding a fork in his hand is solved.
Yes, to prise his latest ice coin out of its mold. And in the process, he accidentally broke up the bar of soap in two.
It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. The sun never shines in this room, thanks to that depressing bricked-up window.
Yet with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you?
That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Miss Susato.
Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo.
I can imagine that there would be a draft coming through the loose bricks. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi, what are you doing here, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems.
Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised?
With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madame. What's all this? All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. What sample? There shouldn't be... Oh, wait. Right. No tea, just skin. A sample from Mr. Shamspeare's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Oh, that's how the floorboard gets revealed. Here, try them on. There. Now, spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray? How do I do that exactly? A little press of the A button on the area you're interested in is all that's required, like this. What is that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints.
Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot?
Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here?
There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there?
I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. Me too.
I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes.
Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. But can I look at it closer? Oh. Not yet, it seems. Nothing about the board in the wall, huh? Whoa. Whoa. Look, there are dozens of handprints here. So there are. A great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out any one individual print, in fact.
It sends a chill down my spine.
Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture? It kind of looks like he was bracing himself against the wall. Maybe there's a peephole behind that picture? Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all.
And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel.
Oh, very true, Mr. Sato. It's a bit of a mystery, then. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we?
We did, but there are 2 places in particular that are of interest, I would say.
The handprints on the floor here, and on the wall by the picture, you mean?
Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment.
I was going to save the floor for last.
Ah,
what is it, Mr. Sato?
Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out.
One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here? Oi, what are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson, stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there. Hum, hum, up, 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 up. Hum, hum, up, 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 up. No need, Inspector. You continue to dig in your portion of chips whilst we dig around under the floor there. Your fancy talk's putting me off my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find.
It's not a hiding place you could make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw to Tommy Mat.
No, I know, but I never expected one of those wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious?
Oh. I'll investigate at once.
Poor Gregson can't be in 2 places at once. Oh my god, and the crate! The crate's there to stand on!
There is nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall.
Really? How disappointing. But then, how do you explain the handprints?
I really can't think of why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that.
Huh? There you are, a print for you. Huh. Thanks, Sholmes. Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too. Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. Hold on, let's look at that. Interesting that there is prints all over the pipes, too. I'm desperate to know!
So am I.
Right, let's go see how Sosuke's doing. This is worth it, I swear. I did it for the bit.
Oh, Mr. Natsume is back.
So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. Okay, I kind of regret this.
I am a cat.
Sorry? Yeah.
I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Airlock Sholmes. I don't know what about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat.
He's disassociating, this poor man.
Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality.
Trying to? He already has, completely. So, what is your name then?
As yet, I have no name.
I thought your name was Wagahai.
Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality.
Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume?
I am not a cat. It worked. He's back in the real world.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. I needed that laugh. Oh, man.
What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that, it's obvious. My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent. In court, in my lodgings. Here, there, everywhere.
What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss.
Oh, yes, we must.
Well, good chat. Catch you later. Okay, Gregson, any news? I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath that floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. Alright then, fair is fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather. Oi, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. That man is the most pistachio-looking man I've ever seen. There were 3 items under the floor there: a newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Whoa. Now, what do you want to know? Huh. Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. Huh. Looks like a bearded version of Miss Green? It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first.
Oh my goodness, he'd committed a capital offense?
Man by the name of Selden. Selden. Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he'd knocked off is worth about £1,000.
A hoard? Of treasure, you mean?
Jewelry and the like, but he's hidden it somewhere and no one knows where, and now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. Huh. Can I look at that closer? Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes. Oh, they are hiding this man's full name. Suffering with fever since the end of October. Huh. And he had a cellmate. What do you want to bet that cellmate could be someone we know? Maybe Shamspear. Oh. So this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. That's Olive Green's sweetheart with Mr. Garadeb. Right? Yes, it would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, of course. But who is the young man on the right? Mr. Garadeb's son, perhaps? Perhaps. You can take that print if you like. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Ah, is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. Yeah, I remember that. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Definitely gotta show that to Green. Wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamspear himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garadeb was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it. Now this box looks interesting, doesn't it? Babia? Is that what that says? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shamspear, give us a clue, man! You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. No, more like... Shamspear rented this room specifically to get close to Mr. Garadeb. And he had some secret small object squirreled away in that tin can for a specific purpose. And he fulfilled that purpose. Something's weird here. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box, then? I wonder. Wagga hi! Kitty!
Oh, look, it's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name?
It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wakahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat. Huh. How indeed.
Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wakahai, here's something delicious I bought for you from the cat's meat man.
Meow.
He could be happier now, look.
I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Hi, Wakahai. Oh, you're making biscuits! Meow. Meow. That was a cheeky little meow, Wakahai.
Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever.
I think he may not appreciate that after a while. We have an investigation to get back to. Well. Alright. From one cat to another. We'll have to talk with Mr. Natsume at length later. We have some things to show him, things to talk to him about. Yeah, there's way more to this than meets the eye. I wonder... Something is connecting all of this. That thief and murderer who stole 1,000 pounds of treasure. 1,000 in pounds, I think. Was it? Yeah, it was pounds because it's currency. The British don't use pounds as a unit of weight measurement. Yeah, due to inflation, 1,000 pounds must be an astronomical amount. In this era, I mean. So it's connected to that burglar, the missing money, the prison, the other inmate who is probably Shamspear, I'd wager, and Garadeb. An Olive Green's sweetheart. And Olive Green herself. And that room specifically, maybe? No, more likely Shamspear just rented the room to get close to Garadeb. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? I don't know. Oh, it's baffling, but I am excited to find out. Well, anyway, I'm actually kind of running short on time here. I have a place to be. I should head out the door in 10 minutes from now, so I need to end things fast. I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.